Here we'll do an example of unit conversion involving US units. We are asked to find the number of yards in 48 feet. First, we'll write down that we have 48 feet right now, but we need yards. When we do unit conversion, we're going to start with the amount that we're given. That's 48 feet. We'll write the 48 and remember to write feet next to it. Some instructors will tell you to write this as a fraction, where you write 48 feet and then divide it by 1. This is fine as well. The problem still works even if you don't write the over 1, but it won't hurt if you do. Our next step is we'll multiply by another fraction. Before we write any numbers on this fraction, we're going to make sure to get the letters in there first. This fraction will have both numbers and letters. The letters that we place on the bottom, in the position I'm underlying in orange, must be the same as the letters we started with. Since we started with feet, we'll move those feet to the bottom and place those letters on the bottom of the second fraction. Then we'll place the letters that go on the top. The letters that go on top are the units that we're trying to get at the end of the problem. Since we need yards, we'll place yards on top of the fraction. Again, we have not placed any numbers yet. We need to get the letters first. Now, we'll write that 1 yard equals 3 feet, which is a piece of information that was given in the first line of the problem. The statement 1 yard equals 3 feet is a unit conversion. This unit conversion statement tells us that 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. Now in that unit conversion, let's examine the left side and look where it says yards. We'll box this in green, and then let's go to the fraction and locate whether yards is on top or bottom. Since yards is on the top in the fraction, we're going to make a note of that in the unit conversion statement. So we box in the 1 yard and note that that should go to the top. On the right side, we see 3 feet. We note that in the fraction, that feet is on the bottom. So we'll box the 3 feet in orange, and we'll note that goes on the bottom. Now that we have our letters straightened out, let's check the numbers. We've boxed in 1 yard and labeled that it goes on the top. Therefore, on the top we'll also place the number 1 next to the yards. On the bottom we have 3 feet, and so we place 3 next to feet. Then we can do an operation in our calculator to get the number of yards. Since we have feet on top in the first fraction and feet on bottom in the second fraction, these feet will cancel out because we have 1 on top and 1 on bottom. If you have units on top and bottom, you can cross them both out. We'll cross out the feet on top and cross out the feet on bottom, and we can see that the letters we have remaining are yards. We now place yards as part of our answer. This is what we want because recall that we needed yards. Since we have yards as our answer, this means that this operation will give us the final answer. Now, we'll multiply straight across and divide by what's on the bottom. We'll begin with our 48 over 1. Then we multiply times 1/3. When you have a fraction times a fraction, we will do a straight multiplication. Don't try to do a cross product here. So we'll go straight across and take 48 times 1. 48 times 1 is 48. And now on the bottom we have 1 and 3 multiplied together, and 1 times 3 gives 3. Now we can go to a calculator and take 48 divided by 3. When we enter 48 and divide by 3, we get the answer 16. This means our final answer for the question is 16 yards. So we note that 48 feet is the same as 16 yards.